Hi, I'm Tony Crimlisk. I've posted more than 100 ukulele tutorial videos and found a lot of similarities between the chords I've used and the strumming patterns I've used. I posted a video on the most common chords I've found. This video is about the most common strumming patterns. Personally, I think the best way to learn strumming patterns is to listen to other people and try to imitate them. Information through the ears. However, a lot of people are more visual, and about 80% of our information about the world does come through the eyes rather than the ears. So I made this little visual aid to show 4 beats in a bar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. As you can see, 1 is a little bit taller, a little bit more stressed. So you put a little more accent on that one. 1, 2, and a bit more on this 3, 4. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, mostly. And then between each of these main beats, you can put sub beats. 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4. And you can move that around as I'll show you. Have a look at the little pattern at the top there, and you'll see I've made it into a little graphic. There are basically 2 ways to strum the ukulele. One is going across with the ball of the thumb, the soft part of the thumb, just pulling across all 4 strings evenly, nice and gently, something to practice. The other way is with the back of the fingernails, finger 1, 2, 3, 4, or what I like, floppy fingers. Think of it as a very soft brush, and these are the bristles of the brush, and you go across all 4 like that. That's something to practice right at the very beginning. 2 beats in a bar would be 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, like a march. A waltz would be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But you can play that with the thumb, or obviously with the floppy fingers as well. It makes it a bit louder. Believe it or not, the most common pattern I come across is simply 4 beats in a bar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Or with the floppy fingers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. But you don't necessarily have to have the accent on the first and third beats. It can be very effective to go off beat on the second and fourth beat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Between each of the main beats, 2, 3 or 4, there are sub beats, and you can put the division between each of those fingering by an upstroke. 1 and 2, 3, 4. Or between the second and third beats, 1, 2 and 3, 4. 1, 2 and 3. Third and fourth, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Or between the fourth and the last one, 1, 2, 3, 4. So for example, with the chord of C, you can put a half beat between 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 3. Or between 2 and 3, 1, 2. Or between 3 and 4. Or between 4 and the next 1 beat. 1, 2, 3. All of these are very useful patterns. Now the next ones are a bit trickier because you miss out one of the main beats. Instead of playing 1, 2, 3, 4, you go 1, 2, don't play it, and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Sometimes helps to sniff. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 3, 4. 1, 2. You can also mess up beat 3. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3. That's very good preliminary practice, what's sometimes called the island stroke, which is down, down, up, up, down, up. Same as the one we've just done, but with an extra upbeat in. 1, 2, 3. But it could also be played down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So far I've shown the beat divided into 2 equal parts, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. beat divided into 2 equal parts is called simple time, but it's equally possible to divide the beat into 3 parts. That's called compound time, and you get 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Or you can split the subbeats, so you have a long 2/3 followed by a third. 1. That gives a much more relaxed and jazzy sort of feel. And so on like that. You might well have been doing that without even thinking about it. All the patterns I've given so far can be done in compound time rather than simple time. If you want to get really clever, you can mix and match simple and compound time like this. Half a bar in simple time, 1 and 2 and. The other half in compound, 1, 2. Or you could also brush it this way. So you would get this, 1 and 2 and. All the way around. That would usually be called a triplet, played like this. But that's the subject of another video, perhaps. Once you start playing with chords on your strumming patterns, you can crisp up the sound by relaxing the pressure on the left-hand side. This is a chord G, and you play the chord. Instead of that, relax the pressure on this hand. Trouble is, you can hear probably that string 4 is still sounding. It's just an open string. You can solve that by coming down with the underside of the hand and dampening the sound. So you're playing, which is quite useful. With floppy fingers, you can do another thing. You can go across with floppy fingers and follow through by dropping your whole hand down to dent all the strings. It's more of a percussive sound than it is an actual chord, but that's called a chunk stroke, where you go 1. I suggest you don't go up and down, you go across, drop down in one fell swoop, as if you're knocking something away. Then you can join half beats with the thumb going up. That's a very, very, very useful stroke. Now, not a strumming pattern, but a device I've used quite often to make strumming patterns a little bit more interesting is to go across each string in turn, starting with the little finger and going across there and fanning across, ending with the thumb. The result is just to elongate the sound a little bit. It's similar to George Formby's fan stroke, but he uses the little finger and the thumb to get that rather spectacular spreading of the fingers. One final pattern that I've used quite a bit, and so do other people, though it is a bit tricky and it may take you a while to get used to it, is George Formby's split stroke. The beat here is divided, instead of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, divided into all the subbeats. And then you play it as a group of 3, followed by another group of 3, followed by a group of 2. So it works out exactly the same. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. That's down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And if you can effectively take the pressure off on beats, as we did earlier with the chord, take the pressure off on beats 3 and 6. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This is what George Formby does. And various other patterns you can do on top of that. Tricky, but worth pursuing with if you can. Well, there is, of course, a lot more to strumming patterns and strumming techniques than I've done here. And if you're a beginner, I do suggest you start with the simple ones to start off with and supplement it by what you can hear as well. Anyway, whatever you do, however you do it, have fun.